beloved ones. So today I actually wanted to talk about something that I'm really passionate about besides music, and that's photography. But I wanted to make it really practical for you because I know a lot of people don't have a high-end camera. And so I wanted to talk about how to get great pictures with your phone. Now, as an aside, I want to say that having a really, really good camera will take your photography to the next level if you actually learn how to use all the settings and you work in aperture priority, shutter priority, or manual. But that's a video for a different time. But for now, I wanted to give you something really applicable to your daily life because most of us don't carry cameras with us, but we have our phones. And there are still beautiful moments you can capture and capture as well as you possibly can with your phone. So before we do anything else, I'm just going to use my little cheapo phone that I've had forever. And I want you to do something. So grab your phone. If you don't have it right now, pause this. Or if you're watching this on your phone, flip your phone over and take a look at your lens. So your lens is going to be right here, usually in the corner. And there's also the selfie lens. It's usually facing you somewhere. And if you have a really high-tech phone, you're going to have more than one lens. But take a look at that. Angle it to the light back and forth and see if it's dirty. If there are fingerprints on it, if there's dust, it's really going to affect your photo quality, especially if it's covered in smudges. A lot of times I'll see their pictures that they post and they look hazy. And the reason they look really hazy is because they have smudges on them. And if you're shooting with people and the background is bright, it's going to bring up all that haze. So clean your lens. Even if you're just wearing a cotton shirt or you have some cotton cloth or cloth for glasses, use that to clean it off. And you can use a little glass cleaner on that. There's lens cleaner available if you have that, or just wipe those smudges off, blow that dust off there and get it nice and clean, because that's going to make a big difference with your quality of the pictures you're going to get. So the next thing to be aware of is how your camera phone works in terms of focusing and metering. Now, focusing obviously is what's clear and sharp. Metering is how it decides what settings to use in terms of how bright the picture is going to be. And the way that at least my phone does it is just by tapping. So you're going to open your camera and you're just going to look at something and you're going to tap the screen and that's going to show you, okay, it's focused here. Now, if I don't like that, if it's too dark, I can tap somewhere that's already dark and it's going to lighten up your picture a little bit. And so you can kind of bypass the natural impulse of your camera phone to make the picture too dark or too bright by tapping on a different spot for it to focus and to meter. So that's another thing that a lot of people don't know about. And that also can give you some more specific focus if it's not focusing in the right spot. So that'll let you choose, hey, I want this part of my picture to actually be the part that's sharpest. And so that's one really good skill to know about. Another one to think about is actually more related to angles that you're taking the picture from. So first and foremost, changing your position, whether it's going down low or getting up higher, can change your whole photo. And so be aware that there might be a better shot if you just change your position. For example, taking a picture of a child, a lot of people will just stand up and take a picture looking down, and then everything ends up distorted and you're not getting a picture looking the child in the eye. And I think a lot of kids could benefit from parents actually getting down on their level even when talking to them and actually looking them in the eye. So if you take a picture where you're looking a child in the eye, it actually really gives you a natural picture and really gets to their level and portrays something really special. So also consider the angle when you're taking pictures of people as far as selfies. A lot of people will end up holding their camera way up like this, but then if they don't lift their chin, they end up looking like their forehead is huge. Or if they take it too low, they look like they have a double chin. So be sure to be aware of how that angle is making you look and making things look proportional or not. And if you need to lift your chin to be more parallel to the camera or lower it, that's a good thing to do. The other thing too is that a lot of people take selfies when a better picture would be either self-timer or having somebody else take it for you. So always be willing to ask bystanders to take pictures for you. I mean, hand sanitizer is a thing, it's fine. And sanitize your phone often, obviously, too. So that's some things that you want to consider when you're taking portraits. And another thing with portraits is that you want to be sure you're actually cropping in natural places. So anywhere where there's a joint on the body, you don't want to crop there. You don't want to cut people's knees off. You don't want to cut their arms off at the elbow. You want to go in between. So you want to go mid-arm, mid-leg. So that actually makes it look a little bit more natural, less disjointed. So that'll make your portraits look better. The other thing with portraits is to make sure everybody is the same distance from the camera. I've seen a lot of pictures where one person is slightly closer and they look bigger and the people farther look smaller, and it just ends up looking unnatural. So think about the plane of vision of your camera and actually be sure everybody is the same distance away. The other thing that a lot of people do that really affects their picture quality is they do digital zoom, which is where you just have your picture pulled up and you pinch it and you do that. And what you're doing there is you're actually cropping. You are not really zooming. A true zoom is available on some cameras and it's a separate lens, or the lens maybe does it within. But most zooms on cameras are going to actually change position and zoom in and out. So phone cameras don't really do that. So when you're zooming on most phones, you are doing what is called a digital zoom, which is basically cropping in and losing resolution. So if you are somewhere where all you need to do is take a few steps closer to get a better picture, that's going to improve your picture so much. So only use digital zoom if you have no ability to get closer. Don't use it all the time. So that's another thing that is more of a camera specific thing. But one of the things that is actually more photography specific is something called the rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds happens when you draw lines on your like on where a picture would be. If I can do it here. There we go. You're going to draw like you're dividing the picture in three this way and the other way. So there's only two lines, but there are thirds here. There's a third, 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 and a third like that. So what you want to do is think about your horizon line and where it's going to be. You want to actually put your horizon line, unless you're deliberately doing it because the sunset and the ocean are equally beautiful, equally well exposed, like HDR. You want to think about what's your focus, because if the sky is kind of normal blue and the ocean is really beautiful, you want to give more ocean. So like put your horizon line higher. Or if the sky is really beautiful and the ocean's kind of dark, put your horizon line lower. So you want to think about where your subject is there. If you take a picture of something that is more like concentric or more of a repetitive pattern, like a flower, you don't want to put the center of your flower right here, because it's not going to invite the eye to really explore the picture. You want to offset the flower center a little bit, even if it's not all the way over here because there's not enough detail. You don't want to have things centered. You want to move it over here, and just really make the picture a little more interesting. And even more than that, you want to think about what your focal point is. What is this picture about? Because you want to think about what your picture is and then what it isn't. Because if you have too much stuff going on and the real focus is this little child, but there's a ton of things going on around, there's trash on the ground or whatever else, it's not going to draw attention to that child. So you want to get closer, you want to compose thinking about what is your focal point. So if the focal point of the picture is a flower, you want to be sure that you get close enough to really see that thing that is drawing your attention. And think about what you want people to notice most in your picture, and be sure that there isn't too much boring white space in the background that you could just get closer and eliminate, or just negative space. So that's space where there isn't anything going on. You want everything included in your picture to be completely intentional. So that's another thing that a lot of people just are like, oh, I like that flower, but they don't get close enough so that all you see is that beautiful flower. They just include all these other distracting things. So that's something to consider as well. So these are a lot of the things that I have thought about that would really help people that are taking phone pictures. And I want to encourage you that we have cameras in our pockets like never before. It's so amazing that we actually have this right now. We have the ability to take pictures whenever we want. And so use that ability for good. Use it to capture beauty and important moments. And feel free to ask me questions about composition, about how to do this stuff, and even camera questions. I shoot with an SLR camera typically, and it's just heavy and I don't always take it out with me. So I've tried to learn how to take really good phone pictures. So I hope this has been really helpful for you, and just go out there and shoot and tag me on Instagram at Anna Dufek. If you take any pictures on your phone, I'd love to see them. And yeah, I just hope you have a wonderful day and know that you are dearly loved by God and that you matter. Much love to you all. Bye.